It's really just the perfect storm, I think, for a Rutgers victory over Penn State.
Definitely tells you something about what Shiano has been able to do so far.
The early start of the season has really been looking up for the Knights.
As a Rutgers sports fan, just being able to say that I'm excited for a season is a treat enough.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Keeping Score with Josh and Ray, a podcast show dedicated to bringing analysis of Rutgers sports and sports around the country. I'm Josh.
And I'm Ray.
And in today's episode, we're going to welcome Dylan McCoy and Laney Ortiz to recap Rutgers football's huge win against Purdue, preview next week's matchup against Penn State, and discuss the Rutgers men's basketball team. I'll start with Dylan. What are your thoughts on what happened against Purdue on Saturday for the football team?
Well, it was a huge win for the Scarlet Knights. It was their second Big Ten win of the season. Not sure the last time they had two Big Ten wins. It's huge for Rutgers. A guy like Aaron Cruikshank taking that kick back at halftime. They were down by 10 at the half. They've had the last couple of weeks where they've lost leads, and they were able to come back this week. They had the kick return at halftime, and then Johnny Langen coming in the fourth quarter, almost rushing for almost 100 yards, 4 for 4 on his passes. The comeback was just incredible. It was great to see the Knights finally get off the losing streak and get a win in Purdue.
Johnny Langen's impact in the second half was unbelievable. I didn't think that he really had that in him to rush like 21 times, 95 yards, and then he goes 3 for 3 passing for 84 yards and a touchdown, according to ESPN. I mean, this is a guy who was kind of just a backup guy. He just came in for a couple runs here and there throughout the season, and then Saturday he just takes the offense by storm and just is like the MVP of the team. Like Sikowski did okay. He had a couple nice touchdown passes, but I think Langen is the one that really closed the door on the win today. On Saturday. Ray, what do you think about the football team's 37-30 victory? Very solid.
Yeah, so Langen definitely provided a telling showing. We haven't really seen a lot out of him this year. I think he's only had a couple snaps each game. But, like you said, he had 21 carries, 95 rushing yards. And it kind of makes me think about his role on the team. Sikowski did okay, but it definitely makes me ponder a little bit about if Langen is going to be the number 2 on this team now.
Yeah, it really depends, I think, on Noah Vedral. He was kind of warming up before the game, but he kind of was deemed not healthy enough to start. And then, we know what happened. It was pretty much Sikowski doing okay in the first half, not great. We were down by 10, and the team really – all season the team has been competitive, has never given up. Even in the triple overtime loss to Michigan, they were chopping all game. That's the big difference with Greg Schiano is he puts the culture that we're always going to try, we're always going to play our hardest, and good things will happen. For the game against Penn State this upcoming Saturday, Laney, I want to get you in on this. Penn State is favored. They only have one win this season. What do you think about what'll go down against Penn State at Shai Stadium on Saturday?
I think it'll be a new kind of Penn State Rutgers football game, something different than what we're used to. Obviously,
Definitely.
In recent years, it's been more of a one-sided thing. And just the simple fact that we are going into this game with a really good shot of winning is so refreshing. And it makes the preview and just like looking into it so much more exciting.
Yeah, in the Chris Ash era, you would just assume Penn State's going to roll Rutgers. And this year, first of all, Penn State is just god awful, so that's one thing. But also, Rutgers is so much better than they've been. So it's really just the perfect storm, I think, for a Rutgers victory over Penn State, and that is something that's unbelievable. They've never beaten Penn State while being a part of the Big Ten. So if that really materializes on Saturday, I think I might cry personally. I don't know about you guys, but that is just beautiful. Ray, what do you think about the possibility of beating Penn State on Saturday?
Listen, I think it's possible. I think if we did get a win against them, we're looking at at least a 3-win season. Although that doesn't sound too spectacular when taken by itself. I think judging by how Rutgers has been these past couple of years and then looking to how they've been this season, it definitely tells you something about what Schiano has been able to do so far. And, I think I referenced our predictions at the beginning of the season of how they were going to have two Big Ten wins. And to get a third, I think that's just really impressive. And I think that that's something we're going to take into the off season when it comes, and think about the impact that Gianno's having on this team in his first year here.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, the fact that, if the Scarlet Knights win their last 3 games of the season, it could be 5-4 and qualify for a bowl game in Gianno's first year after Rutgers didn't have a Big Ten win for 21 games. That's unbelievable. Dylan, I want to get your thoughts on that, on the possibility of Rutgers getting a winning streak going and qualifying for a bowl game. I mean, how exciting is that for the Knights?
I mean, it's definitely exciting. I still think we have to hold expectations. This is a season that is very heavily based on development. Just getting the program back to where it needs to be. I think that this Saturday is probably one of the better chances we have of winning for the rest of the season. I believe we also have Maryland, and then we have a crossover game on our schedule that will be decided by the Big Ten. So it's possible that Rutgers can go on a winning streak, make a bowl game. It would be amazing. It would really help the work that Greg Schiano's done to build this program up very quickly. I just think that expectations need to be held, because this is still a team that they're improved, but we've seen them. They need to still learn how to win consistently. Like they are a team that is very up and down. You don't know what you're going to get from them, and they're a team that could be great one week and awful the next week. So I think expectations need to be like realistic. But I do think Rutgers is going to beat Penn State this weekend. I do. That's the worst Penn State I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, Penn State has only 1 win this season. Rutgers has 2. I don't know when the last time that happened, that Rutgers goes into the game with a better record than Penn State. That is unbelievable. And, you're right. The team needs to learn how to win consistently. I think the game against Illinois showed that this team can definitely lose games that it should win. And against Michigan, it was kind of like, we could have won it, but then we kind of messed up at the end with the missed field goal. And, but I think, either way, we're always going to be in the game. We're always going to keep it competitive, and we have a chance to win every Saturday. And that is unbelievable to say, because this is Rutgers football, and Chris Ash had this team in the gutter for so long. Moving on to basketball, Rutgers has started off 3-0. Ray, I want to get your thoughts on kind of what you think of how the season's gone so far, and what you think how the rest of the schedule will go down, starting with Syracuse on the 8th.
I mean, it's been an impressive start to the season. It's not like they're playing the most difficult teams on the schedule right now. But I think it is still promising to see, especially after Geo Baker went down. We've had a couple of players step up, like Ron Harper. I believe Jacob Young had a nice game to start in one of the games to start the season. So, you've had a couple of veterans show up, but you've also had a couple of, young recruits kind of make an impact already. We saw Cliff Omaruyi have some pretty nice showings to start off. So I think him in particular he's going to be a player to watch as Rutgers takes on Syracuse coming up.
You definitely hit the nail on the head with the guy stepping up with Gio going down. I think Gio will be back before Christmas, I want to say. It's kind of like a high ankle sprain. It's not anything super major, which is really good because we need him down the stretch. I think if an injury was going to happen, it's better that it happens now. I know that's kind of like an annoying thing to say, but it's true. I remember last year when he went down, it was definitely hard. I think it's good. Obviously, they won 3 games that they should have won anyway, which is good. I think Ron Harper dropped 30 points. Again, I think it was against Fairleigh Dickinson. That was his career high. Jacob Young had a 24-point game. Yeah, it was against Fairleigh Dickinson. Ron Harper had 30. These guys are just showing that they can step up. I mean, Ron Harper he is one of the best players in the Big Ten already. He's behind Luka Garza and those guys, but Ron is capable of carrying this team, carrying the load while Gio's gone. And Jacob Young is just he brings a lot of energy, and he's the fastest guy on the team by far, and he's really fun to watch. Dylan, I want to get your thoughts on what's been going on with basketball. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things about this early part of the season is who's been stepping up. Obviously, Geo Baker is injured with an ankle sprain. We've seen Paul Mulcahy start 3 games at point guard, and he's shown he's not a super he's not a super offensive guy. He's not going to attack the basket. He's not going to take threes, but he is a floor general. He knows where to pass the ball. He knows when to pass the ball. He's really been helpful in getting guys like Ron, JY, Cliff open. Miles Johnson has been impressing me too. He had 5 blocks against Hofstra. He's been dribbling the ball a little more. His offensive game looks like it's expanded in one off season, which is exciting. Having 2 Big Ten level big men in Cliff and Miles should be really helpful for the Knights this season. And mostly it's mostly looking up. They've been a little sloppy. They were a little sloppy in the Hofstra game with turnovers, but other than that, the early start of the season has really been looking up for the Knights.
Yeah, my kind of thing with these first games was kind of I wanted to watch Cliff the most out of everybody just because he was a top 50 recruit. I saw him play in high school a little bit for Roosevelt Catholic. And I was really excited for Rutgers to get a recruit that highly touted, and he's been impressing me. Miles Johnson has also been great on defense, getting so many blocks, like you said, which is great. I think Hofstra was a good win. That was kind of the best small team we're going to face, and we won by 14 points. So that's what you want to see. Laney, I want to get your thoughts on what do you think is going to happen with Syracuse? It's the Big Ten ACC Challenge. That game's going to be on ESPN2 on December 8th, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
How do you think the team is going to look after their long break?
So really the thing that's going on with the Syracuse games, it's the first time that these two teams have met since the 2012-2013 season when both these teams were in the Big East. So they haven't seen each other in a long time. And Syracuse has a 39-9 edge in all-time matchups with Rutgers. So it's, our time to take the ball back. Like you guys were saying, last game, Ron Harper really stepped up. He had 15 points and he's stepping up in the place of Geo Baker. Obviously Geo Baker is going to be out until further notice is what we've been told. But against this Syracuse Orange team, I'm feeling really confident about what the Scarlet Knights can do. Syracuse is at a 1-0 record. They've only played one game, so their sample size is pretty small. But I'm feeling pretty confident about Rutgers and how they're going to attack this game.
Yeah, Syracuse played one game. They beat Bryant by 1 point. Bryant's not like, a juggernaut or anything. So I'm not like too scared of Syracuse. Of course, anything could happen. College basketball is extremely unpredictable. And we've already seen upsets this year. We've seen a bunch of upsets, like for example, Virginia Tech beat Villanova, number 3 Villanova. That was unexpected. Illinois almost lost to Ohio University. So anything can happen. I think Rutgers needs to kind of keep playing well on defense and inside defense with Cliff and Miles Johnson. And I also want to see, like Dylan was talking about, Paul Mulcahy. I want to see him keep running the floor well. He's never going to be like a super big point scorer, but he definitely, I think he distributes the ball well, and he's a great presence there in the backcourt. I think basketball is looking up. I want to see what you guys think also about the Big Ten schedule starting on the 14th against Maryland. How do you think we're going to be in the Big Ten this year? Do you think we'll be first place, second, third? How do you think the conference slate will go for us? I'll start with Ray.
Yeah, so I think we're definitely going to be high up there. I'm not sure about the exact seeding, but looking at the schedule, I can't help myself from getting really excited about it. The first couple games are really some big games that I'm looking forward to. On December 14th, we have Maryland. December 20th, we have Illinois. And after a game at Ohio State, we have one against Purdue. So those are 4 very, I think, are going to be competitive games. But with the way that Rutgers played last year and the way that they've kind of been showing up already this season, I think we definitely have a good chance. I think that we are going to come out of that early stretch with at least 3 wins.
The Maryland game I'm excited for. I really think we can take that game. I mean, Maryland, they lost Jalen Smith to the NBA draft. They lost Anthony Cowan. I don't think they're as strong as they were last year when we still beat them anyway at home at the RAC, because nobody beats us at the RAC except for Michigan. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think I'm really excited for Illinois because they're a top 5 team. Same with Iowa. They have Luka Garza, who could be the national player of the year. So I'm really excited to see us against these teams. I think we can challenge for first place. I think we'll probably most likely get like second or third just because Iowa and Illinois might be a little bit too good. Dylan, what do you think about our Big Ten schedule and our potential seeding?
Well, one thing I got to say is the Big Ten is tight this year. There are a lot of good teams there.
Yeah.
There's very many teams that you can say they're going to finish like 14th, 13th. Like, I personally think Rutgers can finish anywhere from 1st to 7th. I think the good teams are just going to be decided by how they play the other good teams in the Big Ten. If we play well against Iowa, Illinois, Maryland, we'll finish closer to first or second. But if we lose those close games, we're going to finish closer to probably fifth through seventh. But I'm confident in this Rutgers team. I think talent-wise, they're pretty loaded compared to like what they've been, and experience-wise, pretty much everyone. No one really left the program. We lost Shaq Carter. Everyone has pretty much gotten another year. We've gotten guys like Cliff Omarui. It's an exciting time to be a Rutgers basketball fan, and the Big Ten schedule should be exciting for us too.
Yeah, you mentioned how we retained a lot of guys. We did lose a Quasi Yeboah as well, but he was a good player, but not irreplaceable. I mean, guys like Cliff. I think Mawat Mags looked pretty decent. I like that guy Dean Reiber, I think, or Dean Reiber. Can't remember how you pronounce it, but he's been pretty decent off the bench. I want to see more of Oscar Palmquist shooting. Yeah, I think my thing is I want to see how the team travels this year. Last year on the road, we were not very good. We were okay, but we just didn't finish games. We only had 2 road wins. I want to see us play better on the road in the Big Ten, which is not easy. But obviously with no fans there, we'll see how that affects it. But Laney, I want to get your thoughts on kind of the Big Ten schedule and how you think we'll fare.
Yeah, so I'm just really excited for this basketball season. And as a Rutgers sports fan, just being able to say that I'm excited for a season is a treat enough. Like Dylan was saying, I think we're going to know a lot about this team just from the very beginning of the schedule when we play teams like Maryland and Ohio State and Illinois. You're going to get a good feel for how this team is going to, go up against these really competitive Big Ten teams. Obviously, with a condensed schedule, we're not going to have as many, soft games where we're more like, okay, easy dub kind of games. It's kind of back to back to back. We're constantly going at it. I don't know where we're going to finish. I lean more towards the top, but anything can happen, especially in 2020 and in COVID, and who even knows what will happen with the season. So,
yeah, I do think the season will finish this year. I think there will be a tournament. It's just I think there will be some cancellations and rescheduling and things of that nature. We've already seen with the NFL, for example, the Steelers and Ravens have gotten rescheduled like 3 times. So anything can happen. I do think that we have a solid chance of being the top 3 teams in the conference, 3 or 4, which is really exciting. And like you said, it's amazing to be excited for Rutgers sports in general. I mean, the whole athletics program in general has just improved so much. It's all about coaching, really. Shiano, Peichel, and Vivian Stringer for the women's team, all doing great jobs.
Yeah, so that's going to be all for today. Make sure to join us next time on Keeping Score for more sports updates, and make sure to follow the Daily Targum on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for more content.